Today I started at 4:46 a.m. with morning prayer. We're going to be hitting the road at 6 a.m. heading up to Sagalassos. You can see it's still very dark, and I haven't even brushed my teeth yet, but we're going to have a great time. Going fast now, 45 kilometers. There's a sign you don't see too often. It's dangerous. Very dangerous. So here we are at the parking lot of Sagalassos. It's a very small parking lot, which tells you not a lot of people come up here. So we should have this place relatively to ourselves today. You can start to see some of the ruins. And we are high up. This is a fun drive. The roads they may have looked narrow and small, but they're actually pretty wide for some of the Turkish stuff. And you can see this goes down quite a bit. Imagine you're here 2,000 years ago with your armies coming up through this valley to conquer this. And you can see some remnants across the way here. There's some leftover wall. And there's just remnants going to be everywhere throughout here. It looks like they have a little group right here. There's just unbelievable amount of stuff here, but we're going to explore this place pretty good. So we are a little bit chilly here, 14 degrees Celsius, which is good, but at least the rain has stopped, so this is good. So as usual at the archaeological spots, there's always stones everywhere, just piled up because they don't know where they go. They're not sure yet, but this is pretty amazing already what we're seeing. This is the baths down here. You can see a lot of this was reconstructed. Some of this I think is original. But you can see this was pretty elaborate. This was no small city. Sagalassos was a very big area. Mountaintops. Very defensible. So we're going to try to find Apollo's temple first. We'll cover the theater last. Many places to go here. We're gonna end up going that way. And there's so much to see here. You could probably spend just a week in this one area. As big as this bath is, Romans, nobody came into the cities without bathing, clean off disease. There's so much here. This is very well excavated. So we're gonna take a hike down here. Just so you know, boots are always a good thing. There's a lot of stones. If you wear sandals, you're gonna be feeling it. So choose your footwear good. Again, this is kind of steep a little bit, not too bad though. But look at this. Wow. You got to use your imagination to what this might have looked like. Wow, just incredible. And we're going to be able to go down in here. And we just met one of the workers, and he's going to meet us with a key to go into a special area. So we're going to get a really unique and rare look at what most people never get to see. So this will be very good. And we see the Temple of Hadrian. Hadrian was a very, very popular emperor, and we see his honorings throughout the ancient Anatolia area in Ephesus, Perg here. So this is, again, very important. And what looks smooth down there is pretty rough, but back in the day it was probably polished marble. It's probably absolutely beautiful before the earthquakes that hit in the 7th and 11th centuries. You might just see rocks and rubble, but if we look really carefully through here, you'll see remnants of leftovers of the ancient civilization, like right here. And this is all just thrown in here. That's been there for quite a while, and that is not new. Again, the earthquakes would have dropped walls, roofs, everything would have been piled up. So this, I think, was rebuilt. These holes here, this probably would have been vertical, maybe not horizontal like they have it. Watch your footing through here. Some of these rocks, look, they were placed recently, say within 10 to 20 years. They will come out. I've seen some lying around already. Look at these. This would have been a fountain. This had to be amazing back in the day. Don't know where the water would have come out. Probably up above. I got a feeling this was much higher up here. There would have been statues in those alcoves. This probably led water down to the baths. The baths being back that way. They would have had flowing water everywhere. In Turkey, the springs are generally pretty high up. So they worked their way down. You can see the remnants just buried. Curious. What might have been back here? Entrance to the underground. Whatever it was, it looks like they either filled it or it collapsed. But I got a feeling that went somewhere important. And again, my belief is, and I'm sure a lot of people think, that every ancient city has an underground city. It's just waiting to be excavated, or they're hiding it for a reason. Maybe it's too dangerous, actually, more than anything, but it'd be so cool if we can get back into places like this. So when I say dangerous steps, again, be careful where you're going here. Pay attention. This is not exactly a super clean site, so definitely watch your step. We're actually up fairly high. That's down there a bit. And I do believe we are heading down there shortly. So Alexander's Hill is just over this, that way, and we're gonna go take a peek. That's supposedly where the last defenses of the city were before Alexander the Great overtook this. Just imagine thousands of men coming at you with spears and pointy things, trying to kill you because they want to take over your city. You don't want them to. A lot of defensible spots. Again, right now you're seeing just rubble. I think this was piled up. This is not the original. But they didn't really start excavating this until relatively recent times. The 1980s, actually. I think this was rediscovered, so to say, rediscovered in the 1800s when a lot of the European archaeologists came down. But the sincere and committed archaeology didn't start till much later. the Temple Apollo. These are pretty much everywhere in Pisidia where we're at. We have one of these that's small, and of course the big Temple Apollo. You can find that link in the description of just absolute massive size that we were at in Western Turkey. You can see the columns. These are fairly big. It's at least a little over 2 feet thick. And I'm sure there's a lot more buried. This is just all that's above ground. What looks like a junk pile of rock. You can see the ornate cuts. These are deep. These are good 4 to 5 inches thick. And just amazing how they chiseled that out. Wow. And there's just literally tons and tons and tons of loose rock everywhere. And again, from the earthquakes that hit, it would have been a disaster here. Well, it is still a disaster. This is just a stacking area. It's, again, most people aren't going to come see this stuff, but I want you to see this to show you. I mean, the finished stuff we're going to look at too, obviously, but it's the storage areas and these staging areas, I think of them as, that show some really interesting stuff. I mean, here we have just a piece of nice marble with chicken wire. I'm sure that's current, but here's some writing. And this is correct side up. This stuff's all been cataloged. You can see the numbers. Just think, somebody did this 2,000 years ago at least, and they chiseled away and made this. Just touching history is so cool. In this, you can still see the chiseling marks. So somebody was in here, tap, 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 all day long. You could see. All right, so ancient people didn't know what they were doing. They were primitive. They used bronze, cheap tools. But I'm going to tell you right now, these cuts are unbelievably accurate and smooth. So perhaps we want to rethink what we were taught of what these people could and couldn't do, because here's proof right here. And look at this. These cuts. And this is smooth. So we were just noticing that these cuts look a little deeper. Watch this. As they come up, you're gonna see Alex. But look at all these just lined up here. Again, the Temple of Apollo would have had these, and they're just sitting everywhere. This is probably a base. Yeah, this would have been the base of the column. These would have been at the tops. These are upside down, I believe. But here again, here's just rocks piled everywhere. Let's see if it is to go out here. Let's see. It could be. Oh, wow. There's just remnants everywhere down there in the weeds. And after Etna, I don't think I'm climbing down through there to see more. But just, it's impressive how much is here. So Alex was just noticing something unique. Square hole, right? That is relatively not an easy thing to do, right? Square. Uh-oh, round. Okay, so here we have round holes. And then the channel. And I think they poured metals into here to help hold things together, obviously, because they knew things were going to move. They were pretty smart people, let's put it that way. But look at the chunks on this. This is relatively big. So if my elbow to my finger, it's double that. So these are really thick, really thick. And here we have what looks like a column, but it's not. It would have just been maybe for a doorway entry. And look at the accuracy on these cuts. I mean, erosion has taken its toll, but this is, it's just consistent. So is this by hand, by machine, or some other unique tool that we don't have? But this is just really good stuff. This is, usually this would be a closed off area. Tourists don't come down here because it's just rubble and rock. But for those of us who have inquiring minds and curious things, we want to see this stuff. So I'm not going to go all the way down here. We want to go down these really steep stairs and go explore more of the bath. But you can see the ornate work on this stuff. This is just incredible artisanship. Absolutely incredible artisanship. Look at the detail on this. This is like beading. And then we have the leaf. And a lot of this stuff is it's three-dimensional. It's not just straight carving. And again, tons and tons and hundreds and thousands of pieces everywhere you look. All right, we're gonna head down into this area, down some really steep steps. So let's see if we can see these steps. Give you an idea. It looked like about a 60-degree angle on the steps, almost a ladder. Oh, no? Oh, no, no. Come. Well. So we just found out we can't fly the drone. So I'll put my drone away and we'll just have to make do as we can. Wow. This is incredible here. Wow. Big area. Lower Agora, I believe. Pretty impressive. Right there. Okay. That wall looks a little unstable. Give you an idea, this Agora is pretty big. The gendarme came by and said no drones, so I can't fly Fred. Well, at least I got him a little bit. So Alex gave me a quick warning. He was talking to them. No drone zone. So we came down those stairs. But there was a fountain over here, and then stalls. This wall, it looks fairly straight. It's actually leaning just a little bit. I'm not going to get too close to that. One little tremor, and that comes down. I'm sure they put that back up over time with the earthquakes that would have fallen down, and they would have had all their little stalls in here. There would have been columns, and the flooring is just rough, but this had to be just beautiful. And probably in here there would have been maybe a little building of some sort. It's all gone now. Maybe a statue. I don't think there's a fountain, but you can see how this is lifted up a little bit from earthquakes coming through. It's pretty flat in considering. gendarmes laying down. We'll keep going down here further. And of course, the cats. Okay, so gendarme, these guys were so nice. He was saying these stones, you could see the symbol in the rock, were somewhere here, and here, and there. And supposedly the people would come into the lower agora here, and they would buy a ticket and wait in line to pay taxes. And they would have to stand, and then only so many people were allowed in at a time. So they would have come in and waited. That's unique. We've never heard that before. It's so cool. Very, very interesting. But you look around, and these have been here for 2,000 years. So this has been here since a long, long time. So gendarme, we just had wonderful conversation. This young law enforcement, he's been here for 3 years working. He calls this paradise. I can only imagine this is probably the best place to be a cop. So look at this ornateness on this piece. He said we're allowed to go everywhere that we can. Get up here. Oh, big step. Obviously, I still want to be careful. He said, keep the drone private. I'm not sure if that means no or just don't let him see it. He was smiling, so I think maybe if there's nobody around, I'll do it. Look at this. This is three-dimensional through here. This is hollow. So tell me they did this with little bronze tools and how they did this. This is amazing. Still see the lions in here. I'm going to be very careful. Some of this wood's been here, I'm going to guess, a long time. Okay, we're going to go down into, I think, the Temple Apollo area here. And a lot of there is underground, he confirmed. So there's just a lot we're not going to be able to see unless we find that cave. But we are going to go to the Hippodrome. Not many tourists go there because it's not much there, but we are going to go there. He said we can pretty much go anywhere. So that's a good thing. There's some ancient, original ceramic piping. Look at how they did this with the flanges. So I don't want to hear primitive people 2,000 years ago. This is a very advanced people. Way more advanced. Way, way, way more advanced. Here's a different type column, actually. Look at this. This is Byzantine era. This is, yeah, statues, yeah. But it's squared. It's not round. That's a different type. And then, of course, this red brick, I think the archaeologists and workers.
Sculpture pipe.
Here again, look at right above the pipe. I'm going to zoom in. Who would take their time to make that kind of joint? Look at that. That is incredible how they knew how to do this stuff. Now, is that to help with the earthquakes, to help align it, to keep it from moving? These people knew things that even people today aren't really aware of because just the technology is different, engineering is different. There was something massive attached to this. Look at the holes in here. This is a unique hole. That is a different shape than I've seen, almost like a plus. We're gonna see, you can see Alex again. He's 2 meters. You can see how big this is. And it just goes out to Alexander's Hill, where a lot of people died on that hill. Hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 people died over there. It's just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. So these stairs have seen better days. Definitely from erosion, from earthquake moving. They are not very level, some of them. They may look it, but I can tell you that the angles change constantly. The Tiberian Gate. So this area feels like the end, but it might have been the beginning of coming into the city. So what looks like a dead end is actually an entranceway, if I'm reading that right. And again, back in the day, this was probably very flat, very smooth, maybe a slight uphill. But it went up through here. And this would have been just, it just looks like a wall, but those are the stairs. And you can see the columns. These have just been laid down. Probably would have had a fountain in here. Again, there's cuts in the rocks. So maybe they had some sort of wooden gate posts, guard posts maybe. All kinds of things. So, yeah, this could have been the entryway, one of the entryways to the city. And here we can see the colonnaded street. Colonnaded streets are everywhere. In Termesos, where Alex and I were, there was a colonnaded street. It was very different than this. Just still amazing. It was 300 meters long and 10 meters wide. And again, you have to use your imagination of columns up on this side and on this side going up with top pieces. Just absolutely amazing. And again, coming off the gravel path, what looks like a no-go area. Usually these areas you're not allowed to go in some of the more popular tourist areas. But again, we are very lucky that we get to come into these areas, and I'm walking on very ancient stuff. And this all would have been buildings, housing, shops, probably housing down through here's my guess. Some gigantic pricker weeds. Oh my gosh, I have not seen these. These are, look at my foot compared to that. You do not want to get hit with that. It looks like cabbage. But there's paths throughout here. And this looks like a street, actually. You can see past Alex here, the roadway. Oh. Wow. Okay, we have some exploring to do here. Some more of the colonnaded street. The marble, you can still see some of the pinks. Again, this stuff's been out here for 2,000 years. I mean, maybe it was covered over with dirt for a while, but it's been sun bleached very well. There would have been columns left and right. It just doesn't look like a whole lot, but again, gotta use your imagination with this stuff. Wooden stairs are obviously newer. Oh, dead end. So there would have been a tower up over here and a tower here. And then this would have been the gate through here. Let's see, I'm gonna give this a bit of a rise. I'll have to look what's over here in a moment. This, I'm pretty sure, was recently put up within 50 years. This is definitely something new. They've got the columns in here. Alexander's Hill there. I don't know if we're able to get around, but there's steps up here, so I'm gonna say we probably can go. So let's go check this out. This would have been at the guard tower. Looks like the earthquakes collapsed these relatively easy. Wow. I see pathway way out here, so we can get out here pretty far. Wow. This is expansive. Very expansive. You can see some column pieces. Give you an idea, there's a house. Or is it way out there? Somewhere by that quarry. Nice level steps compared to Germasos, where you're pretty much walking up a path. But again, the fortress would have been here. Yeah, this is a nice path here. Again, be careful. It's everything moves a little bit. I can feel it. The uptake or upkeep on this would have been immense. It is immense. Just rocks, of course, everywhere. Gotta wonder if they've picked this place clean of artifacts, or if there's more stuff. Again, hikers beware, there's no guardrails, so do be careful. Not total disaster, but that's steep enough where you'll get into some trouble if you're not a good hiker. I can see some fencing down there. Obviously, they don't want you going too far over, and it looks like you're not allowed up Alexander's Hill. I see a rabbit out there. You see the rabbit? I saw movement. Let's see if we can find it. I just saw him. These rabbits are huge, big long ears. There's sarcophagi out there, if you can see them. There would have been a lot of deaths out that way. That's just unbelievable. I can only imagine the shouting and the yelling. Just the carnage. I thought those were rocks. Those are actually goats. I can hear the bells. They are moving. This seems like it was a defensive wall through here and through here. And again, these obviously weren't here, well, not obviously, but probably weren't here 2,000 years ago. But this would have all been probably troops to defend against anybody coming up. They probably didn't sleep with the citizens. I would imagine they kept their posts differently. This does seem to be rather high up. I can see about a meter down on either side. Excellent walkway. Thank you for whoever put these in years ago. This makes it so much easier to get around. There's some remnants of a column. Again, this is just what we can see above ground. What's actually below us, that's the real mysteries of these places. Is what don't we see? What can't we see? You just see little remnants, bits and pieces. Here's what looks like the corning of a doorway, of a gate. Again, look at the cuts in this. Look at how deep these things are. It's My whole hand plus up to my wrist fits in there. This, because it's cornered, this was a peak of a doorway. This, I believe, is a temple in here. Temple Apollo, maybe. Or another gateway. Antonius Puius, Temple of Antonius Puius. What's left of it? So we're gonna come off the path here, go a little bit deeper down our own path. And here's some columns buried. Here's a hole, I'm thinking probably a flag stuck out of here. Again, look at how deep these cuts are. This is incredibly complex stonework. Let's see if we can get up here without causing any kind of disasters. Oh boy. I might not be able to make this one. I gotta jump ready. I can't make that. I need a step stool. All right, I did it. Wow. Look at this. I got a feeling this fell and it has not been touched. Just from a long time ago. The 4th century and 11th century is when they had massive earthquakes. So what wasn't already down, the rest came down. This would have been the flooring of the temple. Wow, these rocks are monstrously big too. Yeah, look at this cut. Here's a cut, so that would have lined up with something. This is impressive. Yeah, I mean, look at the size of this guy. This thing's huge. How did they move this stuff? The columns are really thick. Just mega pieces, and it's pretty big. See remnants spread out. My climbing boots, these obas, are wonderful. Great grip. Ooh, just heard a big movement there. Some of these may not be as stable as they look. Wow, it's pretty elaborate. There seems to be some pieces missing, but for the most part, it's all here. Ooh. Oh, some of these are not as stable. That is a lot of cut work. I got a feeling that was at the top. So how do they move this stuff? I mean, we're not exactly on flat land. Well, we are on flat land here, but this is up in the mountains. So it looks like it goes to here, out around. I'm gonna try to walk on the base here. This is a good 3 feet down. Oh. Oh. And most people are never gonna even see this because it's not on the common trail. But I take paths less traveled so I can show you this stuff. There's fencing. Obviously, they don't want you going there because most likely that's a cliff. So, all right, instead of going back through that rock field, that's a lot of work. I'm gonna come down this way, I think. Can I make, oh, I guess I can't make it through there. Oh, I guess we're going through the rock field. All right. Oh, actually, no. We're going back through the rocks, just a different way. I am stepping on ancient history that is just so impressive. Just, wow. I haven't seen any lizards. It's strange. Pick my path, carefully balancing on edges. This is rather unique cuts. I think something, maybe a root of an ancient tree that's no longer here did something. Oh, what's this? Some coloring? Could that be original mosaic? All right, if that could be original coloring. Huh, I don't think that's child's play. That actually looks like that was original. Wow. This is big. Oh, what do we think? What a jumbled mess. I'm gonna say, let's go through here. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna come out onto here. Again, it's not too narrow, slightly. If you're afraid of heights and stuff, don't do this. I feel fairly confident. It's just, with tight pants on, it's not the best thing to do. Ooh, and there are prickly bushes here, of course. First blood. Look at this cool stuff. All right, so that is one massive piece of rock. I don't even know if I can get closer to this. Let's see. You can see I'm just balancing on an old column. Oh, that is really big. Many, many tons. But check out the work on that. All right, we're gonna check in the corners here. Let's see, I think we can go this way. Gotta be like Spider-Man to get through here. Push off one to go up another. Wow, look at this. I can hear those goats. There's the goats. All right, let's go. Should I jump? No, we're gonna go slow. I'm gonna break a leg. Whoa, hey, I found something. This rock's moving. How do I get to where Alex is? This way? Whoa, you can hear it. Listen. It sounds hollow underneath. Oh, wow. Okay, we're going this way. Another 3 foot down. Hopefully, yep, that's solid ground. Pieces, parts of columns. Wow, erosion. Look who I found. Have I said hi to Sophia yet? Mm-hmm. Hi, Sophia. See all the goats? Oh, more stairs. Another path. Let's see how close we can get to Alexander's Hill. Oh, actually, quite a ways. You would have seen armies coming for a day or two, probably, before you even had to really get ready. I mean, we came up that road, up through that road, all the way through that road. So, ooh, some of these timbers are out of place. I got a feeling there would have been walls, layers and layers of walls here. I'm just going down, down, down. I don't know how far down it goes. Well, the gendarme said we're not supposed to fly drones unless he doesn't see it. I didn't see him, so we should be able to do it. Alexander's Hill is here. Behind us, we have the remnants of a temple. And up that way is where we're going to go next. We have to go back through the colonnaded street and up through the city gate. So much more to explore. So impressive here. Absolutely impressive. Just incredible, incredible, incredible. I'll take a slight detour off the path. I see some interesting carvings over here. Some unique growth. Here, look at this. This would have been a roof. We've seen this in a lot of places. This would have been up on a ceiling. So this area, something was here. This looks like a pedestal. And I don't know if you could see it in the video, but I see lettering. It looks like, can't really tell which way is up or down, but there's something on here. I could be standing among sarcophagi here because there are sarcophagi out here. You can see remnants. There. Looks like some are broken. They probably rolled down from the hill over time. Actually, I see a lot of broken sarcophagi out that way. I just imagine over time, you're talking, 2,000 years. They've been here a little bit longer, but the Romans got here. Alexander the Great came through in 333 BC. And then the earthquakes, different changes of empires. This area was not that pilfered for the local cities. Again, anything high up in a mountain, it's really difficult to bring back down unless you're really motivated, but there's still so much rock here. Usually we go up. Now I'm going down. When you go down, ooh, see, the stairs are rotting away pretty good. That looks like the end, so let's go to the end and see what we can see. Here's a big piece of a base of a column. Wow, this might have been another gateway. It's just really so much big rock. And it's not just rock from the mountain. It is cut rock from human beings. See, here's more. What would have been a ceiling, or at least the top, on top of columns. I see foundation here. This, I got a feeling, was part of a building. And, oh, there's somebody, the herdsman up there. You see him? He's got his umbrella with his flock. I can almost feel the ghosts of the soldiers that were here. All right, so what goes down now must go up. So let's get the heart rate cooking, going back up. this will be fun. This is great exercise. Alex and I joked about starting a health camp, a weight loss clinic just through tourism. Something you don't think about, but and I'm carrying a backpack, probably 10, 15 pounds. Not very heavy, but it's still, it adds to the exercise. Oh, I see steps over there. The sign, let's see. I'm on a slight path. Can you see it? It's here. I'll move quickly. I'm walking through fields of broken stone. Let's see what we got here. This looks like they started to go here and they changed their mind. There's nothing. Although it's probably a panovistic view. There's houses down there. I see sarcophagi. So that's probably graveyard. And let's see what we have on the sign here. Nothing. It's gone. But it's probably saying something about what's up that way. All right, let's see if we can make our way back to the other walkway. Let's see. Let's try straight up the hill. No, let's go this way. Wow, the amount of rubble. This looks like it was thrown here. This is not from the earthquakes, which means it's probably not very stable. I see cut marks, etchings. Big square cut. Yeah, ancient people did this with no skills, right? They had skills. They had a lot of skills. All right, I think I'm gonna find the sidewalk up this way. Nice to step on grass instead of gravel. Definitely makes for stuff. I found my way. You can see the amount of rock up here with Alex. All right, so this piece I'm on is really big, and I've not seen anything like this. Very, very unique piece. I got a feeling it's upside down. It looks like a base stone, but watch this. See how it's cut here? It's cut there, and look at this. It's cut in steps, but there's no way. That's like almost a full 3 feet up. So this was, who knows what this was? This was part of, maybe it was up and it came toppling down. There's another piece, maybe. Wow. And I don't see any archaeological numbers on this, so who knows if they've actually researched down here or it's just left untouched. It's hard to give you a scale of how big this is. This was a very, very large complex. So way up here, we can see what they call the Neon Library. And then up over there, that's gonna be the theater. Hard to tell distance, but the parking lot is there. I'm gonna say a mile. Easily. And that looks like the beautiful pictures that we haven't seen yet, and that we're gonna go find the Hippodrome over that way. Most tourists probably don't even go there because it's probably not excavated. You can't even see it on Google Earth, but we're gonna go that way. And I know we are gonna finish with the theater before we leave. All right, so we're going back up now. Back in the days, I'm sure these steps weren't here. They probably had something different. But this would have been probably a walkway. Who knows if they had steps? I got a feeling it was just ramps. And the guys back then had to have very strong legs. They probably trained up and down, up and down. Sure, they didn't just sit around cooking all day. And we haven't even got to the big parts of the city yet. This is just the lower parts. You can see all the rock, everywhere rock. Something new. Well, as you can see, well, you probably can't see it yet, but this is just the lower city. We were just out here at this temple climbing on those rocks, and this is the colonnaded street that we are now going to go back up, all the way back up, climb up the tall stairs that are way out there. If you can see them, where are they? They're right about in there somewhere. And then we are going to go up. We're going to go over that way and try to find the Hippodrome, which not many people get to because it's not really on the map, but we are going to go find it. And then we're going to end up at the theater way out that way. All right, I really want to see what's over this wall. So let's see if we can go up carefully. This looks like a nice set of stairs here that we can use. Kind of, sort of. Let's see what's around here. We're going to go up into the old fortress. Make sure I don't fall through any holes. Ooh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. All right, cool. So this is the old fortress. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the colonnaded street would have gone out further. They just haven't uncovered it yet. And it looks like maybe it could have come from this direction. I'll bet if we can get a shovel or two in there, we'll find some stuff. So this area would have been the tower, and that was the other tower. And they could have, I mean, look how far I can see. This is 10, 20 miles, however far that is. It's very, very far. There's no way an army could sneak up here unless they were incredible at disguising themselves as goats. But I don't think 5,000 to 10,000 goats would have been in a herd back then. And you can see leftover wall over that way. We didn't quite get that far. I got to the edge over here, but I didn't go down that way. All right, let's make our way back down here. This looks like this was recently built back up. Based on the gravel, it looks like they put some sort of cement in here just to hold this together. Again, if you're going to go off the main paths, do be careful, because these bushes are a little bit deeper than they look, and you really don't want to step on it. But walking up the colonnade street, this would have been very smooth. This is, I can imagine Termesos, of how when we were at the colonnaded street there, it was just covered in remnants. And here, I got a feeling the remnants were cleared away just to open this up. In Termesos, they were not, because Termesos just unexcavated pretty much. But this probably was filled with remnants of columns, and they just were taken away. I don't think they're even on site. They might have just hauled them out of here, but this is not an easy feat. And here are these, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 6-sided columns. These, we've not seen these anywhere. This is very unique to the area. All right, we are going to climb up this, what looks like a wall. That's actually the stairs. They've seen better days. These are definitely have seen better days. If you've got poor balance, be careful. These things are going every which way. So please be careful. Keep your weight a little forward. The bathhouse over that way. What a great workout though. Get to work out, lose some weight, see some incredible relics like these. Over and see. Again, usually you're not allowed into these areas. In so many places, it's just remnants and rubble. But we're allowed at a certain point. So I think this is the back of the bathhouse. And of course a gate. There's always a gate somewhere. We're allowed to go a lot of places, but somewhere you're just not. And again, it could be because of safety, or in this case, I'm gonna guess storage. Oh, it's cold air coming out of here. Oh, Alex, come look. This is, I don't know if the camera can focus. Ooh, that's underground. That's cold. You can't feel it, but it's cold air coming out of there. This is like catacomb. Wow. Oh, I want to go in. It looks very unsafe. We found an entrance into the cave. Beam gendarme nearby. He'll probably know that we went in. But with the amount of shoring up in the wood, I would think it's pretty dangerous in there. That's why they don't want you in there. But again, look at the angle cuts on the rock. We saw this at Termesos, how the foundation rocks are cut. This, I think, was rebuilt, is my guess. But again, you have polygonal, right? So, Alex, you see polygonal cut? And up the steps we go, onto the next place. Here's an ancient piece of pottery just sitting. Just sitting on the rock. You just gotta look around for stuff. You just gotta use your eyes and catch stuff. Just because it's a rock doesn't mean it's a rock. So this is the bathhouse. Ah, there's the roof of the bathhouse. So what we saw, they probably had the fires underneath to create fires to heat the water that would then come up. And here, look at this. Just more engravings. Yeah, this is, it's just everywhere. It's all, everywhere I look, everywhere you see in the video, there's something new and unique. So
how I can remove this piece?
Yeah, these are huge. So yeah, these were up.
Now look on these.
So this is a ceiling here, and then this would have been the front of the ceiling, and the top would have been down. And there's just big, huge pieces. And then there's another giant one over there. Wow, huge pieces. Here's a gigantic piece. These we see at Perg. It's a good meter, yeah. And this is just a corner piece. It's just cut, an L shape cut. Wow. Creating archaeology for the future. So not only we're on the path of the past, we are in the present, and they're creating it for the future. And you can see there's just pieces, parts everywhere. They're just dumping rock in. Again, crazy cuts. Everywhere you look, you can see different pieces, parts. It's gonna take them a few days. It's a lot of work. They have plenty of rock to work with. Whew, another big piece. Imagine hauling this down here. Wall. Wow. And again, who knows what's underneath this. It could be solid rocks, just tons and tons and tons of rock just piled up. Oh, a smooth finished path. Look at this. This is more of what Tormesos looks like. If you want to see Tormesos, make sure you check the link in the description. But keep watching more of this because we got a whole lot more coming up. Oh, speaking of up, there's always up. Lots of downs, but mostly up. And then you go back down. If you got bad knees, don't do this. This is not wheelchair accessible either. Pieces of column. Wow, look at this. Oh, wow. Talk about breathtaking. Not just from the climb, but the view. And then we were way down there. Parking lot. Parking lot's very small, so you can tell. Oh, wow, there's still so much. You can see the steps would have kept going up. The theater will be up there soon. All right, let's make our way to this area. It looks like just a lot of this was put together recently based on cement, because they didn't use cement back then. They used gravity and cuts. And this would have been a fountain. Hey, Sophia. See Dad?
Place for me.
Yes. You have to stand there forever now. And I got a feeling this goes down. There's something underneath me here. There's guttering for water runoff. It would have gone down the hill. And there would have been wall here. This maybe was fountain, but definitely a centerpiece. I wish I could fly my drone here. Oh, that's the running water up there. Yeah, we can hear it. This would be a perfect place to do an orbit, but there's cameras, so I gotta be careful and not do Fred here. That would not be good. But this had to be columns, statues. This probably had a centerpiece. Actually, in Pisidia, we have a structure like this that's a little more put together. Yeah, we weren't hit with the bigger earthquakes that they got hit with here, but still pretty big. Let's see what's over here. Just more stuff. This wall right here in front of me looks fairly recent with a brick. I could see what looks like plastic waterproof stuff. Possibly. Wow, it's just so much to look at. And again, you have to use your imagination. This would have been pink marble, again, sun bleached over the years. Somewhere around here, there's a column that matches that. Same with here. See, this stuff, this is new. This is relatively new. The way it's piled in, it still took a long time to do. And here we see the line that would help line things up. Could this have been stairs down? Oh, you know, that actually could have been a sewer system underneath, and it just filled in with a meter or two of mud. Oh, we have something mysterious and unique. Oh, okay. There's a couple options here. It's just a starfish that somebody got bored and just kept scratching away with on the weekends for 50 years. Or it could be a manhole cover for drain. It is very close to the gutter. The gutter goes here. This one's out of place, but I think it was flat. But there's only these two. There's the other four corners don't have it.
Maybe on one corner.
Maybe one corner, but look at this. That is not an insert. That is carved in there. I got a feeling that was at the end of the gutter for water. There's some upside down writing. So this seems like a small agora. There's a square column base here. There's one there. There's one there, and there, and there. This is almost like a small agora. But no, not agora, not agora. Meeting place, yeah. Yeah. This looks relatively recent, just because of the there's no uniformity to this. What do you think? Yeah. All right, so let's go back into here. I don't think that's gonna collapse on me. At least I hope not. All right, let's give it a go. Some beautiful. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Oh, it's just a dead end. So it's just a storage place for rock. Oh, this was the other door. I was thinking it goes through. It probably did at one point. This looks like it went down a little bit, but it also looks like just a storage area. This in front of me looks like it was put back up, but I'm sure everything here was fallen down. I mean, depending how it falls and how they found it and what condition, it's not too difficult. Well, I shouldn't say too difficult, but the trained eye skill, you should be able to put it back together. Here you see some epoxy fill. They're trying to put it back together. Obviously that did not work real well because it still broke, but more ornate pieces. Wow, just incredible. And here you see the iron. Finally we get to see what the iron looks like, how they melted it right in. And that would have held the columns together. That is rare. Did you see these? Mm-hmm. This is, I've not seen the piece. So it looks like they melted it and then just hammered it in. And there you go. There's your Legos. Well, here's the first roped area that I see. They don't want you going in here. The walls, they're working on stuff, obviously. Although, where there's no rope, that means we can go. It just means danger, danger, danger. So we're not gonna go that way, we're gonna go this way. We're gonna go up the path. We're gonna go to the southeast gate of the upper agora, the gymnasium, and the rest of the city. This looks like it was definitely put back together. But again, you can see the design. I'm sure the column was stood back up, but even for modern people, that would have been rough. Really rough to put back up. Oh, you can hear water. Ah, and there's that starfish again. I think that's drainage hole. That has to be drainage hole. So as we come through the gate, you can hear water. Here off to my left. I don't see it, but I got a feeling it's right down in there. Hard to tell what that might have been, although that was covered. You can see how it would have arched. But what makes Sagalassos so beautiful to tourists is this. This is beautiful. Imagine this back in the day. Polished marble everywhere. Wow. So my guess is this was flat when it was built. It is not flat now. Between two massive earthquakes and probably some underground waterways here, this subsided a little bit, maybe it rose up a little bit, but this was just beautiful as a bee tries to get me away. Again, look at this, how they cut this stuff. Just a fit, perfect fit. Would have been a statue there, looking this way. Wow. Yeah, in Sagalassos, it's about 3 hours north of Antalya. So if you do come to Antalya, you just come, I shouldn't say straight up, but it's north of the roads or anything but straight. We come from Pisidia, which is the eastern part of Antalya. Not all the way, but most of it. Again, this is just so impressive. And we have the place to ourselves, pretty much. When I see circles, something like this is a game. I don't think it's jackals and hounds, but it is definitely some sort of game piece. Where else did I see this? I can't remember where. There's too many cities now, but we saw another one. Was it Ephesus? Perga? Somewhere. I'll have to rack my mind. If you remember where else we saw this, let me know in the comments. I suppose it was City Hall. Pretty plain. There's not much to their City Hall. We don't know what was inside it, but there's not much to it. I see writing on the far wall. It's probably got some kind of codes, maybe some laws. Something. Do not spit on the sidewalk. Clean up after your animals. Stuff like that. Again, this is why I can't fly my drone, because there are cameras watching everywhere. So you're lucky enough to get the shots we did. If you're just following a path, make sure you're not staring at your phone and look up. And that's what you will see. The lower agora, the bathhouses, the temple out here. Let's go check this film out. It's amazing the wear and tear these pieces of rock have taken. Of course, rock lasts a long time, but they don't always stay flat. Let's go check this out. I see some stairs over here on the left. Went up to something. Let's check that out. Pretty high stairs again. Oh, these are I can almost step. Oh, jeez. They don't look so bad. These remnants. It's almost like just by design, not purposeful. architecture. Let's see what we got around the corner here. Oh, just back rooms. Shops, maybe. They're just shops. A lot of this definitely was put back together. Some of it you could see modern cement. And again, look at this ornate cutting. No idea how big that is, the relics up there. Wow. Kind of reminds me of a mini Ephesus. Let's check this out. Check this water out. Ooh, that is not too cold, a little bit cold. Well, we'll see if he gets diarrhea later. There's colder water out there. It's not too bad. I got a feeling in the winter might be a little more chilly. It's so nice to see water flowing in some of these ancient places. You can see the beauty and the detail they put into this. Hard to tell if that's real or recreation. That may be real. So we're gonna look for the way up. We don't know if it's this way or if it's by the fountain. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what kind of cool discoveries I can make. This just looks like it was a housing, maybe part of temples. It looks like at one time, what's that? It's not the Hippodrome. I don't think. No, this is not the way up. This is... I think we need to go up and around. And this is the dumping ground. I got a feeling they brought the refuse here. So we're looking at these cuts. What's the first thing your modern human eye sees is circular saw. somebody was going at it with a modern saw, unless they had tools back then that we haven't found yet, or they're hiding. But I got a feeling that's modern cut. Looks like dado cuts. To go up, we have to go to the right of the fountain. I see a ramp. There's people up there. A couple people. There's maybe 12 to 20 people here right now. Not very many. And we're just getting into tourist season, so this is just the start. But come here. Be here early, too. You can get your photos in. We're looking at these two top pieces. The one on the left looks extremely new. The one on the right looks a little bit older, a lot older. But the question is this a replica? Or is it the original and they just somehow cleaned it? If they did, that's a heck of a good job. The chances are that it's a replica. There's a couple that they're just too perfect, no brokenness. And we'll have to look at the Ephesus video, look for that description, look for the link in the description, and we'll see this at the Library of Celsus. So, and here we can see the first look at the theater. We're going to be up there in a little bit. Next to the fountain, there is a tunnel. This has been here for a while. Ooh, that goes down there. And let's see. Well, Alex, what do you think?
I don't know.
I have my light. I go in. Let's see. It's not too tall, but I might be able to fit. Hopefully this isn't septic. Oh, wow. Hey, this goes back pretty far. Yeah, let's see. Hopefully there's no spiders in front of me. Oh boy. Here, let's turn on the other light. Maybe, is that any better? There's rock. There's some water in here. It's definitely not too high, maybe 4 feet high. There's some steps. Oh, are those steps up? I can't feel my footing after being in the sunlight. Oh, this is crazy. Oh. There are booby traps. It looks like steps. Oh, hey. Ooh. There's steps up. Oh. I think it only goes so far. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm gonna go up there. These are pretty high. Could be slippery. Very interesting. Okay, let's find our way back out. Look it out. Follow the light. Ooh. And then watch your head. It's maybe a little less than 4 feet. I'm kind of bent over in half. Cool. And this is very old. I got a feeling this went up to another fountain. You could see the chiseling that went into this. I don't see any lettering. Temple of Apollo, they had lettering. But this is definitely rough. And there's definitely some water that's come through. This is eroded. It's not a lot, but there's still some. So it's pretty cool stuff, huh? Neat. Oh, Alex, the steps are about this tall.
What?
They were about this tall. All the way, it goes up though. It goes very up. So, again, this tunnel, if you want to go into it so you get an idea where it is, it's to the right of the fountain. I think I said left before, but to the right. So, that was something. So here's something odd. We go upstairs, here's an archway, and it just dead ends there. So that tells me that this is relatively new. Was this easier to build a wall? Maybe because there's a road up here and they just wanted that easy. But this looks like, who knows if that was up there before, but let's go up the stairs and see what else we got, because we got a lot more of the city still to cover. So here's more, just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces of remnants of everything from top pieces, bases, column parts, pieces, stuff. And I got a feeling this is all rock under here, no dirt, just all rock. And there's probably buildings that were under here, and when they caved in, they just filled them in. It's just so hard to know without actually taking a shovel to it and digging. All right, let's go up more. Looks like they're still working on these stairs here. Don't think we want to walk through the middle. These are not garden beds, although they would be great for garden beds. These are definitely stairs up. 8-inch. Yeah, they're not bad. Whoop, that one moved. That one was not secured. Again, just as a warning, if you've got bad balance, bad knees, bad hips, think twice, maybe 3 times. But it's definitely worth it if you take your time. Well, let's go see what the sign says. The Bulletarian. Bulletarians are usually small chamber meeting places. We saw these in Ephesus. It was round though. This is more square. I don't think we go in there. Oh, maybe. There's signs. I have no clue how to get up there. I don't think you're allowed in there. No, because I went up that way and there was wire by the city hall. Oh, this looks interesting. Oh, so you can see tons and tons and tons of rubble. This was a huge piece. Oof. Just so you can see what I'm walking on. And here's an interesting relief. Well, here's a little hole in the cave I can't really see, but I brought my light. Let's see. I can't really see much in there at all. Looks like a cave too, maybe. It's really hard to see back in there. But either way, I think the stairs I was on going through that tunnel probably went up into this area, into the room, which is right above me here. I'll show you that in a sec. So this is the frieze, probably of whoever might be entombed here. It looks like this does actually angle down. So there's definitely cave in there, but this probably went down, and then there could be whoever this is down there. And the tunnel is in probably comes to about where I'm at, I think. And the Haroon with more friezes would be an entombment of where somebody very important was buried there, possibly a family or somebody very wealthy. So let's cross back out of here and see what else we've got. If I don't fall off these first. Let's make our way through here. Right for where that tunnel was. So, oh no, there's no way. That tunnel is way over there. It went up that way, unless it turned and came through here. Way off on that one. Oh, and in case you were wondering, we saw these things before. That's what they're for. They're not ancient things. They look modern, as we never mentioned it. So let's head up this way and see what we got. We can go Lizard. Trying to find the lizard. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I can't go too far. This looks like it was a nice overseer's spot where they could watch what's going on. That is definitely a meeting place. That would have been for the politicians, city planners, somebody important, rich people. Like they would have gotten in there and had their meetings. And then, oh, check this out. Whoa. Yeah, that tunnel, I didn't know that went up there pretty far. I got a feeling it went maybe even all the way up the mountain. It went up really steep at a certain point, maybe even up to here, possibly. It went up there pretty good. There's the theater. It's a bit of a walk. We'll get there. Saving that for last. I think we're gonna go try to find the Hippodrome. Don't know which way Alex went. I'll try this way. Let's see what we got here. Some more rooms. Oh, it's so fresh up here. There's no smoke, no pollution. So these, I don't know what these were. These are just little rooms. I don't think they're houses. There's something. Let's see. Doric Temple. And again, they're just doing all this work everywhere. Oh, I see the wall tombs, fortifications. So that means we're coming to the edge of a cliff, possibly. Yes. So this is a fall off. Not totally impassable. Well, yeah, it would have been really hard for people to get here. And out that way, you can see the wall tombs here. And then the Hippodrome is probably out that way around the corner, is my guess. Somewhere that way. I'm gonna go backtrack and see what else we can see this way. There's a couple of lizards. I love seeing lizards in the wild. Let's see. Where's he gonna take us? Not too big. I've seen bigger ones. Alright, let's go this way. I think I was that way. Again, it looks scary. You know, it's not so bad. You would not want to take a tumble though. So again, don't stare at your phone. Look out. Just carry it. I'm using the free will extender. So this thing works really good. I'll leave the description what that is, along with a bunch of stuff. And again, this is just a twisty, curvy, turny. Everything we came from that way. So up we go. Strange secret entrance. Let's see. Moon cave? No. Maybe they used it for support. Oh, I guess it could have gone around. Big walls. Ooh, man, look at the size of those rocks. Crazy. I have a feeling Alex is up that way somewhere. I'll find him. Yeah, and the rock tombs. We're gonna go see that. Oh, all these stairs are all under work. Wow, they're really doing some work here. This is not free stuff, so if you're paying an entry fee, just understand what it's going for. People think, oh, it's for corruption, payola, and you know, just see it as you're helping restore stuff from the past. Ah, Sophie, do you see Dad? I see him. He's way out there. Where is he? He's out there somewhere. There he is. I found him. Zoomed in. He's way out there. He got ahead of me. All right, so I'm gonna find a way through here, and I'm gonna go find him. So let's see how fast this goes. So the stadium and the church are this way. As you can see, just rocks, just everywhere. Stairs, I could go down the stairs and up, but I think I'll cheat and just go this way. This looks nice. Nice, relatively flat, easy to walk on paths. Oh, actually, careful on this stuff. It's a little slippery. An ATV would be fun. There's these giant pricker bushes, or pricker dandelions. Cool flower stuff. Looks like a sedum. Let's look up some of this stuff. This is not like Etana. The prickers, if you walk through here, I'd just be worried about spiders and bees. And the rock tombs, we'll go take a peek at here. Alright, so I'm gonna go up to the rock tombs here. Let's see. This is about these stairs. They are never gonna run out of work on these archaeological spots. There's always something to do, and if they do finish one thing, they can always put a shovel in the ground and start uncovering new stuff. So, this is the western necropolis and the Acrocelia in the northern necropolis. The quarryscape, Sagalassos. This is interesting. Icy paths. Let's see where this goes real quick. Up. You can see somebody spent some time. This hole. Alright, Alex is going the opposite direction and I'll catch up to him. I just want to see how far this goes. I think this goes pretty far. There's carvings everywhere in here. There's just, when they say quarryscape, there's just, people came and chiseled. It just goes on, probably all around the mountain. Wherever there were people, they did things. And they buried their dead, sacrifices. This is probably more so where people were placed. The remains. Let's see some of this writing. It's not the neatest of writing. Let's see if you can see that. I know people climb up here. You can see it in videos. I'm not going to do that. I think that's disrespectful. Standing outside's enough. I mean, you probably could go up there, but that would be not ideal. Let's go this way. Let's see if I can catch Alex on the high road here. This looks like they definitely, oh, there's some carving. So a lot of this rock peeled away. It does get snow here, which means the stuff could freeze and break away. I'm having flashbacks of Etana. Oh my gosh. This is, oh no. Alright, well, here we go. Watching our steps. Oh, wow, just crashed through here. At least there's no prickers that I can see directly. No, these are not pricker bushes. That's a pricker bush. Yeah, I am not going near that one. Oh, no. Let's see, Alex is down that way somewhere. I think I need to, might be able to go this way. seems like a path, doesn't it? It does. Yeah, that's a path up there. Oh, let's carefully try this way. Oh, yeah. Maybe not. Let's see. All right, I need to backtrack up. I am not risking breaking my head open on this. So, I'll just go back the way we came. When there's a way up, there's a way down. I just don't want to do it the fast way. Oh, something's been through here. Goat or sheep? You can hear everything grabbing at me. Oh, where's the steps? They're there. Yeah, I'm taking the steps. This is just a little bit too loose gravel for me at this point. I'm a good mountain goat, but rough gravel and loose gravel, it has no respect for anybody. So, we'll go this way, and then we can hoof it pretty quick and find it. Okay, so now we can walk past. Yeah, that was too dangerous up in there. That's like a 10, but even worse because there's just the loose gravel everywhere. Not a good idea. Even with these wonderful boots, these Opos I got, it's still, there's a wall that got re-stood up. Alexander Hill across the way. And I do see Alex. He's way up there, about 200 meters. You can see that's what I would have had to come down. That's a no-go. That would have been a fast slide on my backside. And I don't feel like tearing up my jeans. Alright, the Hippodrome should be out this way. Not many people come down here, so if you want to see something good, come on down this way. We're going to see what's here. Hopefully it's interesting. Well, no matter what it is, it's always interesting to see old stuff. But it's still cool to go where not many other people have. So this looks like some kind of work was done here. Yeah, that's dangerous. This is just like walking in a painting. So surreal. The mountains, you can't even tell that they're three-dimensional. It's beautiful. The sign says stadium. This way. Stadium. Doesn't look like much of a stadium, but considering you're on a mountaintop, on the edge of a mountain, this probably could have been a pretty neat stadium. There's definitely quarried rock, and a lot of it's buried pretty deep. I can just see corners and edges. That might have been an entryway. Here's Alex. Hard to tell how far out. Oh, this cool scrub. And this is, I think it's a sedum plant. Look who I found. Oh, wow. Okay. If this is the stadium, I don't know what they did up here, but there was a building here, obviously. Oh, yeah, now I see it. Okay. It was a small stadium, not so big. It probably 100 meters. Yeah, about maybe a little more. So they just went around a few times more. But again, you're on the side of a mountain on an angle. You don't have much room for a full-size hippodrome.
This is foundational basilica.
Yes, basilica was built here. See, and there's not much here. So where'd the rock go? Oh, I see the rock down behind you. Way down behind you. Here. It got all shoved over the side. You can see it way down in the valley. All right, so we're trying to figure out, the basilicas came after the Hippodrome. They obviously, well, I always say obviously they would have used the stone because it's pre-cut. There's no seating that we can see. That doesn't mean it's not here. It could be underneath the rubble there. We think this was probably part of the seating. And again, when you have pre-cut rock, you just move it and create it. But the other weird thing is, where did all this rock go? And I think it went down the hill. It could have just been moved over time. But here we see the sucker. It could be buried underneath the feet too. So this opening looks like an archaeological pit dig that they worked on, or some kind of garden. But churches back then, sometimes they weren't real big. They were small. Oh, look at that. It's part of a column piece right there. So again, I think it's underneath my feet. This is raised up a bit. Here we can see this top cap piece. It's buried down in there pretty good. Oh, no. See, this thing's probably 2 meters long, and it's down in there pretty good. Oh yeah, this is definitely Hippodrome. I've been in enough Hippodromes now. The one at Perry was about this wide. They're not very wide, but they're long. And this looks like an outer wall here. And you can see the rocks, which is probably the wall. Again, it could have been made out of wood. Usually rock, but possibly wood. Alright, so, oh, that wall's at a different angle than I thought. Let's take a walk up through here. Goop balls everywhere. Goop droppings. Oh yeah, this definitely went on. Wow. It went on very far. Yeah, this is, that's definitely put together. And these are some decent sized rock. Yeah, this is all rock that looks like a doorway. Here's your rock right here. I just love going through all this stuff like a mountain goat. This is just so fun. Would not want to do it when it's hot out. It warmed up a little bit. It started at 14 degrees Celsius, and now it's a bit warmer. I got a feeling some of this stuff was brought up from the rest of the city when they made it. Oh, look what we have. Turtle. That's me doing that. Hi, buddy. Come on out. Merhaba. He's having his lunch. At least we're not seeing wild boar. So Alex was to say, second church here, and then I heard something behind me. I turn around, like, what is following me? Are you following me? He's following me. He's looking for dessert. It's pretty cool. He's got this place all to himself. And look at this, see? This is just remnants of a column base. It's just sitting here, just angled. It's, how did it get like that? And then there's column pieces. Here's a neat column, how it's half and half. Some people have commented that these are gears. Not quite sure about that. It's a possibility, but probably not. But you never know. More work. This stuff's been sitting out in the weather for quite a while. Yeah, this was some big wall here. This definitely looks different down on the ground. And we've got the entryway. Who knows if this is the original, but I got a feeling that piece was up top by the look of it. But then again, I think those were stood up actually. I don't think those are the side pieces. And then just the columns, and you can see how deep these things are buried in here. They're buried in pretty good. Wow. Ooh. This is so much better than walking through fields of prickers. Oh, there's just carvings and just stuff everywhere. And you could literally probably spend a lifetime up here. I hope that was Alex making that sound. Oh. It was not Alex. He was hissing at me. Tortoise, this is perfect for mountain tortoise. I got hissed at. 200 sounds better for Hippodrome. Yeah, this is... Well, they would have had it here, but again, over centuries, they would have flattened it, built it up, moved rocks, the vegetation grows. I don't think vegetation grows really fast up here. We're 1,400 feet-ish up. No, 1,400 meters up, right? Yeah, 1,400 meters. So, we're up a little bit. Don't feel any altitude whatsoever. Yeah, you could see the Hippodrome from here, even though it goes uphill a little bit. I think with the build up over time of dirt, and you got stuff coming from the mountain constantly, the building of the roads. This is pretty interesting. So I'm walking on a built up roadway. This is definitely current, within 50 years. They have all their support steel here. Let's see. I'm not falling off a cliff. Oh, did I find a spearhead? No. Just a cool looking rock. So we can start to see the wall. It looks like they did some excavation over here. Odd angle for a wall though. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes ancient stuff just doesn't make sense. But again, is it because the way people, well, modern people, the last 150 years put it back together and just didn't do it right? Like, still, to me, Ephesus, just not all of it is correct. I'm not criticizing anybody who did it, but to my eye, it just looks odd. And again, I think because they didn't have anything to go on, and it's just a best guess based on rocks. But if one rock's missing and another looks similar, I could throw everything out of whack. So again, you have to use your imagination, be a little open-minded. So I can't say for sure this was, unless they have definitive proof, but I never say for sure. I just say, kind of looks like. And this looks like a long way to the theater. We probably got a mile at least. We go way down. So again, we're just out in Turkish country. And here is a giant carving. Look at this. This is gigantic, how they carved this out. It's huge. I wonder if it was massive column or they just making sarcophagus. And we have to go over that hill and down and over and up to the cathedral. And again, we are in places most tourists will never get to go because you're not allowed the time. That's one of the bad things about tour groups is sometimes you're limited to an hour, 2 hours. Maybe someday I'll start a tour group of friends and we'll come here in Turkey and we'll just travel around and go to some places as friends, clients. It's not legal in Turkey. So do you want ramp or stairs? Ramp. because the stairs are, I know we're not finished.
Almost there.
The ramp it goes. It feels good to go upstairs, but not when you get to the top. All right, we'll see on the other side of the hill here. All right, so this giant boulder that, I don't know where that came from. Maybe it came from up top, but Alex noticed this face. Look at that. It's just a face looking down the valley. Who knows if that's carved or if that's just natural, but what an amazing face. Here's the other side. Where's the face? So I think it was a natural. I don't think it was an outcrop, but I do think it came from probably in that facing a long time ago. And the hill we're going up, it's getting steeper as we get closer to the top. Oh, gonna be downhill soon. And then uphill again. Well, we made it up back by the harem. And again, just piles and piles and piles of remnants. I don't know if this is storage area or if it's actually ruins. Now I'm gonna go with storage area. They've got the brick spacers, which tells me this was thoughtfully placed. Ooh, let's see what this offers for luck. Whoa. See all the numbers on the rocks? Somebody did a heck of a good job cataloging this. And there's stuff up here. I have a feeling there's a building underneath there. Remnants. Oh, see, they did a good job here. This is all, this would have all been on top of columns somewhere. And it's got Greek lettering. It actually still looks in pretty decent shape. Wow, they just barely are balancing this stuff. I've seen no equipment of how they got this up here, so it's either been here for a long time or they just have a very mobile unit. It's amazing. Yeah, there had to be a building up here. It's a lot of work to just bring stone all the way up this hill for storage. It's a possibility if somebody paid people enough money. As long as the funding is there and people need jobs, they'll do it. Just piles and piles everywhere. Oh, you can hear the acoustics?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I can barely see the people. Sounds like a flute. So here we're coming up on the library, sometimes called the Neon Library. I don't think it means black lights and bright lights. It's probably more about mosaics. Hopefully the guy in the baseball hat is somewhere. I don't see him. He was gonna maybe let us in. I don't think he's here. If we find him, maybe he'll bring us back up. Uh-oh, can't go this way? Here. Go see inside, and then we.
I think this is mosaic.
Yeah, here. Oh, you can't really see inside there. It looks like wood decking. Ah, you know what? I bet the mosaic is underneath. It's really hard to see in there, but yeah, I think, oh, I do see mosaic. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna have to go find the guy and ask him if he'll let us in. A house next to the library, it says. And then a pottery workshop. And that might be up here, but this does not look accessible. Well, that was buried quite a bit. Wow. This was rebuilt, obviously. Let's see, burial maybe. Where did he go? He went that way. Oh, found another cool thing. It's probably Relics is at. Let's see if these stairs. Well, let's give it a shot. It looks solid. Oh. Oh. Careful. They're not as level as they seem. Ah, I found him. He's getting another drink. The Dork Fountain House. Very nice. Probably the only shade here. It's in that. A lot of these columns look like they've been epoxied up, filled. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's cooler here. Oh, water is definitely cool. Oh, nice. This is coming out of a fresh spring. This is not pumped in water. It is coming straight up. You can see how smooth this is. I got a feeling from people doing something here, like maybe scooping. But that's a lot of scooping. That is a lot of scooping. Wow. And we walked over that. All right, so this is probably at least 2,000, 2,050 years old. Look at the cracks. Not the cracks, but the way the rocks are fitted together. Very strange. See, they're angled, they're cut, they're 90 degree, they're uneven. There's places like this. That is complicated. Very complicated how to do this. I mean, why an inch? But that's what they had. And then there's some angles. So very interesting. I'm sure that reinforces. Look at that. That just takes a long time. It's not something you do probably in a couple hours. But I'm sure this was buried with the earthquakes and they found it and got it going again. All right, back up to the teatro. Are we there yet? Oh. Yeah. We've been going for a couple hours. What time is it? It is 1:30. We've been here since 9. So we've been doing some hiking. Got a couple of miles in. Definitely got some elevation in. And people would have walked this way to the theater. Thousands of people. There might have been a couple ways up, but I got a feeling we're on the main path. And out here in the field, I see bumps in the terrain, which tells me there's probably foundations here. Doesn't look like they rebuilt much of this, if any. I think it is, this was, they might have put a few things back, but not too many. There's columns down, pieces, parts. It's a good hike up though. Oh, look at this. Now, if this is like Termesos, it's probably fairly similar. We are way above grade, the original grade. That would have been 2-3 meters below us. And in Termesos, this whole area was collapsed. I'm sure of it. Yeah, look at this debris. This has been here permanently. Unlike Aspendos, where they still use it, this one is not used anymore. Oh, shade. Wow. Yeah, this is all. Oh, this is way collapsed. Yeah, we are standing on collapsed rock here. You can see by the gateway and the door, we're easily many meters up. Oh, speaking of up, not easy stairs. Oh, how fun. More rocks. I think this is our last up, at least for this trip. Very smooth, shiny rocks, which tells me a lot of people have been here. Do this when it's wet. Oh. Let's see what we got here. Oh. Wow. That whole section caved in. The stage would have been there. Alright, so we were just looking at this compared to Termesos, and there's two rocks. I like going under stuff, but that, no way. I'm not going near that. A little bump. Looks like it's coming down. But this has a second level, where Termesos didn't there. You can see damage, what an earthquake can do to solid rock. Modern buildings take a devastation, but this got hit hard, as did up here. And then behind me, I can't turn my head, but this collapsed down into the back way. And then I'm thinking that way went down and around and came out over this way. Yeah, ooh, let's see if I can reach the next rock. Yeah, I think it came down that way. Whew. Oh, these got some steep change to them. Yeah, I'm gonna say they came back through there and backstage. The only difference, Termesos, big drop here, just a little hill. But the one thing I have not seen here is spiral cut column. There's no spiral cut column, and I'm not seeing it here either. So whoever they had at Termesos build that knew how to do spiral cut. Here, they didn't do that. But look at this. This is just caved in. And the seats, we can see the angle, the undercut, which for acoustic reasons, although these are slightly different. These are a little bit, not as sharp undercut, just a little bit. All right, so of course I have to go down in the middle. You can see there's quite a few paths down. So I'm gonna pick a smooth path and work my way down. I don't see stairs. Oh, there's stairs there. All right, so let's get down in the middle here. All right, I'm gonna make my way down, but first I wanna go explore these 3 holes. So let's pick our way across here, because when there's holes, I just have to see what's inside. All right, so this is nice and even. Some of these have really broken off, And I'm sure some of the pieces from above that fell, like these that didn't make it down, the ones that have, obviously, it shattered these. Like here, you could see remnants. These are pretty big pieces from here. What a thud that had to be. Alright, make sure you don't miss stuff here. Look, ashtrays, see? Ancient ashtray. Probably not. Alright, let's get over to here. This took some heavy damage through here. Of course, part of this could be erosion if it freezes. Let's see, where's the sun? No, there'd be no shade here. And look at this backstage. This, I am not going near. I'm daring, but I'm not stupid. That just does not look safe. I think a bird lands on that, that'll fall. Alright. Alright, I just signaled for Alex to come over. Oh, this is cool. Alright, let's see what we got here. Any bears? I always check for bears. Oh, I don't think I want to go into here. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I can see water drippage. Wow. Definitely a cave in from there. Oh yeah, this is what collapsed in. Wow, so that came down and broke in, but there's a whole passage that's gone. Just who knows what's in there. Lizards everywhere. On a hot day, there's probably even more. Oh, you could see, we'll call that the fault line right there. How that caved in. That's crazy. It just looked like it V'd in. Maybe that was part of the underground. Maybe there's big meeting site based on what we just saw in this cave. So look at this. Let your eyes adjust. And I think a lot of this filled with dirt. Yeah, that's gone. I don't know about this though. And this collapsed in. Well, let's gently explore. Don't make loud sound. Oh, it's dripping. It's a little slippery. I can feel on the ground underneath me. It's definitely got some erosion to it. This rock fell in. Where's the rock? Oh, maybe I found the rock. The phone sees better. I can't see. Because it caved in. Oh, I'm getting dripped on. Pretty cool. Alright, well, I'm going to come back the way I came, maybe. And I think there's places that went under. The phone sees way better. I should use the phone. There's the rock. Lots of dripping. It goes around. I don't know how far we want to go though. Watch this rocks. Yeah.
Entrance.
Yeah, it went down somewhere. Back doors. I think there's meeting rooms. It was very drippy right here. Oh, there's the rock that fell. Oh, I can see it with the phone. Right here. This is dirt, obviously.
This is a level.
Oh, yeah.
Ceiling.
Yeah, I think we're up easily 2 meters, maybe more. So much dirt came in here. I don't know if we have to go out. Just crawl fast. Check for trip hazards on the phone. Oh, didn't. Found a big puddle. Didn't see it. This is like underground cave. Not getting out that way. Not too many people have been here. There enough room? Yep. If Alex can fit, I can fit. Alright, let's see. Follow the light. We've been in places like this scuba diving and coming out with scuba gear on. It's a little bit easier. Oh, let's see where we are. Ooh. Oh. That hole. Wow. All right, more up. I thought we were done with that, but not yet. Oh. What's amazing, there's still water dripping from the ceiling, which is right there. That tells you how much spring water is in the ground here, up, this high up. And again, I think we're a good 1,400 meters up, not feet, meters. This is pretty high up. This looks like a little goat path, people path. Whew. Why'd the goat climb up the mountain? To see, oh, it's just flat ground. But there's more to see. I see signs way over there. All right, we're gonna go see what's this way. This had to be all houses up here. And then more storage. But I can see a sign out here. So that means there was something. We saw a group of people in the theater. They disappeared. Now we know where they disappeared to. So they went this way. Well, not this way, but they went to my left. Let's see what's over here. Just, you know, if you just were walking and you came from this way and you wouldn't even know that the theater is there in the city. You wonder why they say they didn't discover it till like 1880 or 1874. It's because only the locals knew it was here. And the people coming through the area probably didn't speak the language. And if they did, they didn't even know to ask, possibly. So this looks like a lot of remnants here. People have been pulling rocks out or goat steps. I don't know what that is. Not anthills. Artifact. Something behind wire, which means it's important. Oh, artifacts, boxes. So it's special. Let's see what we got here. It looks like fresco, maybe. Mosaic. Oh my gosh, they took the mosaics out of somewhere. That's what that is, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they took mosaic. Oh, wow, they're preserving it the good way. Just get it where people can't take it. I wonder where that came from. Probably in front of the fountain. Yeah, it came from in front of the fountains. Mm-hmm. Wow, and all these boxes probably all labeled, all mosaic. That's a couple 100 tons. That is not something that's easy to do. Handle. Greek handle? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can tell Greek versus Roman handles based on the curve sometimes. We found a group of people. They went that way. There's probably something down that way. Probably house foundations. You can see digging across the way here. That certainly looks like foundation. But all this had to be houses. Just probably packed full of houses. And like Perig, it's just all flattened. Just from shaking. You could see from the mountains the runoff, constant runoff. Almost like they were blasting up there, but just constant freezing. It just shatter and break and roll down. Big country though. Very big country. Topiary. It's like bonsai. Very low to the ground. So unique. It just doesn't get any taller, probably. Well, I'm not going to go down to the center of the theater. Oh, yeah, well, maybe. It depends how we go. But I got a feeling we're about almost done. I always say that and then we find more to explore, but this should be the end of where we're going. Because I know the theater is about as far as we can go unless we cross over the valley behind me. Oh, the air is just so nice up here. And this must have been one heck of a view. Obviously the sign's gone. It was probably there for quite a while. And then we have more column up here. What in the heck was this? And this. How? It's gigantic. One. So I think we're on top of somebody's tomb. I really think this is tomb. Because you would not do this kind of effort for nothing. And this giant pedestal, that is, it's just massive. Well, here's a little piece here. I see pieces. It's 5 feet. It's huge. Absolutely huge. This is the base probably.
Maybe.
And it's slid.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the columns rolled down, and there's this piece here. I see a little piece down there. Oh, I don't see too. These could have rolled all the way down, all the way, and just kept going and going until they hit another wall.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And they might not have been very tall. Yeah, it looks like there's one way down flat. But with enough inertia, it could have kept going. If it rolled perfectly flat, it would have gone a long way. Let's see. I'm guessing, oh, maybe this was not a tomb. This is a solid rock. Unless it goes below my feet, which is very possible. I see carving here. Yeah, I think it went down into the ground. Again, these sites you can explore as long as your tour guide will let you, because we live in the area. Well, in the area, 2.5 hours away. It's in the area. Compared to somebody in the States, it's much easier to come here for a day trip, and we still have plenty of day left. Wow. Yeah, see, there's more column. There could be some under here. I see a piece. Oh, I don't know if I can point to it right. I think that thing is part of it. So let's go this way. Let's see what's here. And there's just soil's kind of soft, actually. That's why I keep losing my balance. It's like sinking in. Coming to the back of the theater. Again, what was here? Something. Look at this view. Wow. Normally, I would go into here, but I don't like how these rocks are sitting. Again, this is definitely a place I want to go, but not gonna be that super daring because I don't know. It's been up there a while, but I just don't trust it. So I'd love to go into the middle, but I think we're skipping that for today. When we bring friends by next time, if they want to come up here, we'll see what else they have. But this has been a great adventure. This Alex says top 5, and I agree. Termesos was definitely awesome because of the untouched area. This certainly is top 5. I'd have to really sit down and think of which places are the number one spot. Again, it's very subjective and objective. This area you can walk around relatively easy. It's not easy, but relatively easy. And again, it's depending on your physical capabilities. This is the back of the theater. You can see the wall here. But as far as getting around here, this is, again, I don't want to say difficult. It depends. For me, this is, it's strenuous, but not hard. It just depends how fast you go and the heat. I mean, if it's in the 80s, yeah, this is going to be brutal. If it's in the 90s, forget it. But you're up at enough altitude where it should never, hopefully never get that hot. If you're doing this in the winter, it could be snow. So it's probably not the best time to come up. The roads coming up would probably be scarier than walking around with snow here. Let's see if we can see more of the column that came down from that site. That could be anywhere. And I still feel like there's houses and foundation that's all around in here. I can see slight terracing. But again, the stuff, it buries over in a couple hundred years. Things are buried depending on the rocks. We're not getting sand and beach, so you're not going to see that. Pretty interesting. So now it's time to head back down the steps and head to the next place, whether it's home or Kemner. There's still a cave nearby, but I don't think we're doing that today. That might be a little hard. That's a lot of time underground. So we're just gonna carefully make our way down here. By the time, if you get here, this is probably gonna be done. They have all this stuff ready. It's just a matter of getting here. They got, I would say, a few thousand of these holes to fill in, and it'll get better. It almost seems like a garden, doesn't it? Just beautiful. And here's the Doric fountain house again. All right. Do you take trail or do you take stairs of death? I'd say trail is more dangerous than stairs of death, so we'll take the stairs of death because the slide of death is much scarier with the sliding. At least I have some control, even though we've been walking for how long? It's 2:12, so 5 hours? 5 hours of hiking up and down. It's going to feel real good. When you're here, for as long as we are, your legs get pretty strong after a while. First week, you might want to stick to like places like Perg or flat, even though it's hot, but it's flat. It's you can walk 3 to 5 miles there easily. Go to Sea Day, it's flat. Antalya flat, but here it's not flat. You can see Alex heading down there. This is another house. I missed this one. Let's check this out. I think this is what they call the mansion, and I would say it's certainly a mansion. When I get to a place where I can stop, it's hard to stop downhill. It's like the brakes don't work. That's a pretty big place. They would have had multi-floors, probably indoor bath, indoor plumbing. And again, you
joke. They didn't have plumbing back then. Yeah, they actually did. Ceramic pipes, and they were experts at moving water. So don't underestimate the power of ancient people, what they knew. Because what they knew is more than what we know. It's just the more we dig as modern people, the more the future people know, and the more we'll know about the past. Well, let's call that quits for video. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure you watch the video on your screen, probably up that way, maybe. I'll show you Tormesas next. That definitely is one you want to compare to this. So we have stop on the way home. The goats on the road.